everyone, Andrew here, and this week I'm going to be talking about some of the fake consoles that I have, because 2 weeks ago I talked about some of the, like a whole bunch of multi-carts that I had, and fake consoles kind of go hand in hand with that, because just like multi-carts, fake consoles are made in who knows what country, and who knows for what reason, and stuff like that, so that's why I figured that it'd probably be good to do a video like this too, because I know last week I uploaded a pickup video that I'd been putting off for uploading for so long, because the first time I tried uploading it, I left the computer, and then when I came back, my computer had restarted, and I mean, it shouldn't restart for updates unless you're there to actually tell it to restart, so I don't understand the logic behind it's just going to restart itself. But yeah, so I uploaded that last week, and this week, I figured I would kind of do like what I said I was going to do way back when I made my first display video, when I said I was going to eventually touch on fake consoles. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be looking at today. I believe in that video, I showed this console. That looks like a PlayStation 1, although it's actually not, because when you open it up, you see that it is actually a cartridge slot, which will hold Famicom games, as you can see, if I can get it in, like that. So yeah, there we go, we have Atlantis No Nazo in there, a game I played for a random game today, a very crazy game. But yeah, this is what I mean when I'm talking about fake consoles. I mean, things, they can take any shape or form, usually the form of some other gaming console, but they play a completely different game than what you might think at first. Interesting thing is that all the fake consoles that I have to show play Famicom games, so yeah, nothing too... there's not going to be too much variation as far as what game the console plays, but there's a lot of variation between what some of these things look like, so it's actually kind of interesting if you want to see. Anyway, as you can see, Famicom cartridge fits in there, so we can't really put it down while it's on, but you have your on-off switch there, reset button here, and if you look at the back, you'll see it takes your red and yellow cords, so you kind of get a component video, or composite, but not really. You can also have a RF out, because yeah, I mean, the quality isn't very good. I mean, there's definitely some, the sound quality on these isn't amazing. I mean, the video's not too bad, but you're definitely going to notice a drop in sound quality if you're playing with the fake console and not the real thing. And then you have your power over there, which is just your normal 9-volt thing. And Sega Genesis Model 1 power cords work very well with pretty much any fake console, including, and you can even use it with real Famicoms and stuff too. It's overall just a really good power cord to have, but never use, what's it called, an NES power cord with anything like this, because you'll probably blow the circuits or something like that. Along with that fake console, this is the controller that I have for it. I got it with it. I don't know if it actually came with it. As you can see, it says Super 57,000 video game on the front of there. This one just says Game Player on it. And the N has one of those Atari 2600, Genesis, whole bunch of different consoles back then used it. It has an N like that. But anyway, it's actually a pretty good copy of the original PlayStation controller without the thumbsticks at the bottom. The buttons actually feel pretty solid. It doesn't feel too cheap, so it's actually a pretty decent controller, and you can even use it with things like Atari and stuff like that too. So it's actually a pretty cool controller to have. Anyway, you even have shoulder buttons that actually do press. They're not just kind of pieces of plastic that sit there, although I don't know if they actually have any function in any games or anything like that. But anyway, that is pretty interesting. And yeah, so that's pretty much what we're going to be looking at. Fake consoles like that, taking the form of other consoles, but they play Famicom games for who knows what reason. Because since there's a Model 1 PlayStation, I also have the Polystation 1. So we have the smaller version of the PlayStation, and if we open it, cartridge slot, it plays Famicom games just like the last one. So yeah, and then again, you have the same buttons there, exact same things on the back, and then the bottom, which has absolutely nothing on it. Well, it's kind of dirty, actually. Some things just don't want to clean up, because you have a sticker mark there, where the thrift store placed their sticker, and it just leaves the nastiest glue marks. I need to find a good way to get those off, but anyway. And it came with controllers like this one. It still has that Genesis Atari 2600 end on it, so you really could use any controller with any of these consoles, but these are just the ones that came with it. You have your thumb pad there, 6 buttons here, kind of like the Genesis controller, and then you have your start and select. So that's pretty much it for that one. But the interesting thing is, even though there's a lot of fake consoles that tried to take the form of other things, some fake consoles instead of trying to look completely different from what they're trying to copy, actually try to get as close as they can to the console they're trying to copy, kind of trying to trick you into buying it instead of the real thing, because you don't notice the subtle differences. Like, look at this right here. This is my Famicom in the box, the family computer. So this is the real official console. Just giving you a look at it. So you have that. You open it up. This is one of those lift-off lids, like pretty much all Japanese consoles at the time. And you look inside, and that's what you get. But look at this next thing I'm about to show. Place that over there. This is the computer in game. I mean, look at that. It definitely tries very well to copy the box, the art, everything that the actual Famicom box had. It's actually pretty interesting. Although, obviously, the Famicom's not called the computer in game. The controllers are definitely different, having a built-in turbo there. And yeah, there's a few other subtle differences, too. The picture on the side is not the same. Of course, the name was not the same. But, I mean, if you open it up, move that out of the way, you do pretty much get the same look. I mean, it looks just like the Famicom. Then you get your RFs and stuff over there. I mean, it's very, very similar to the real thing, except the front there says computer in game instead of Famicom. But overall, it's actually a very good clone. And it even has video ports on the back, unlike the actual Famicom, which just had RF. So it's actually a very, very quality fake version of it. So yeah, and if you don't know what you're looking for, you might accidentally get this instead of the Famicom, which I'm guessing some people probably did back then. Either they're trying to trick people into buying a fake Famicom because they're trying to like take sales away from the real thing, or they just intentionally made it look similar, and then they probably priced it cheaper to try to get some of the money that people who would normally be buying Famicoms get money from them. But yeah, so that's just to show you that fake consoles don't always have to look like PlayStations and Xboxes. They can try to be as close as they want to the actual thing. And I mean, that computer in game actually does a very good job of it. Another one that's similar, but it doesn't do as good of a job. Let's see here. That is my family video game. The first thing you're going to notice about this is that it's yellow. So it's a completely wrong color, but overall, the mold, like the shape of it, is pretty much identical to the Famicom. Unlike the computer in game, this one actually doesn't have built-in controllers. It has two controller ports on the front, unlike a normal Famicom or the computer in game, which just have one port, which is actually used for accessories like the zapper and stuff like that. But this one, the only way to play it is to plug at least one controller into it, and then they can kind of sit in the side like that. So yeah, this is another clone. Also pretty decent, except obviously the color's wrong. But other than that, it's pretty much identical to a Famicom except for the color. So I've always liked that. And yeah, again, of course, everything I'm showing does play the 60-pin Famicom games, like I said at the beginning. But yeah, so moving on. The next one I want to show. So we've had PlayStation. So next up, we are going to have Xbox. Or not really Xbox, but the X80,000. I mean, obviously it's kind of trying to sound like Xbox. Although, I mean, it doesn't really look like it. I mean, maybe the Model 1 Xbox, because it was black and had the green X on it. But overall, if we open it, guess what? Cartridge slot. Again, I mean, I said at the beginning that all of these were Famicoms. So yeah, we just place that in there. And there you go. Because yeah, like I said, they're all Famicom. On the front here, you have your power button and your reset button. You of course have two spots here for controllers. Bottom, just more vents, and the back looks pretty much the same as every other fake console we've seen so far. This console, the controller is actually pretty interesting. It looks like this. So you have your D-pad over here, start select. This is just a big green nothing. I mean, it's probably trying to copy sort of like the Xbox home button thing, but it doesn't really do anything. Then you also have some buttons over here. So those are kind of acting like your what do they actually say? It's like triangle, X, circle, and square. So it actually takes the PlayStation symbols. And then if you look on the top, you also have shoulder buttons. Although I doubt they have any function, and they're probably just there for decoration. But yeah, that is the X80,000. And yeah, another Famicom clone. Let's see, 2 to go. Let's see, which one will I do next? Yeah, we'll move on to this one. When I did my multi-cart video, I mentioned that one of my multi-carts went with a computer that was all tangled up somewhere, and I didn't bother getting it out for that video, but I got it out here because it kind of is like a Famicom clone, and that is the GOK 2001 computer. And yeah, this is actually a really interesting computer. As you can see at the top there, it has a spot for a Famicom game, and on the sides it has 2 spots for Famicom controllers. And those will pretty much use the same ones like these ones. So as you can see, it's a bit wider than a Genesis plug. It's actually a special Famicom plug. But yeah, so here we go. The cartridge in it is the computer cartridge that I was talking about. So you turn it on, you can select from a whole bunch of games. You have like Minesweeper, you have a typing program, it even has a Super Mario Brothers in there. But you can also put in any other Famicom game you want, and then you can play it with a controller if it's plugged into the side. So that's always been really neat. And yeah, I've always really liked this thing. I used to have it hooked up at the computer desk, although I hooked up my Amiga 500 there after I got that a few months ago. But yeah, that's what that is all about. And yeah, 1 to go. So I've always really liked that keyboard. You can find a whole bunch of weird things out there that play Famicom games. That just goes to show it. But the last thing I have to show. So we've seen Xbox, we've seen PlayStation. The last thing we're going to see is Genesis or Mega Drive. I mean, it doesn't claim anywhere. It doesn't say Genesis, doesn't say Mega Drive, doesn't say Sega. But it's always reminded me of the Model 2 Genesis or Mega Drive when you look at it. I don't know, it's just always the way it's been. So yeah, it's a fake console. You get a glimpse of the controller and light gun that it comes with down there. And there's a guy playing soccer. So yeah, I don't know why they put a guy playing soccer on the front. But yeah, they did. So if we open it up and have a quick look inside, taking the box off, we get to look at this. So there's the gun, there's the console, which I will take out and let you have a closer look at. So yes, here is your console. So you have your cartridge slot, which plays Famicom games, of course. Have your power button, reset, and on the back, pretty much the same. Bottom, we have vents, and yeah. We also get some awesome instructions with it. Oh, I think these are the instructions. If TV set have AV plug, so it's may directly use 2/3 AV plug of the game player. English good. The connection view between TV set and game. I love things. Turn on TV, then made the TV VHF channel the same as special channel of the game player 11 channel. Awesome. I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't have read the instructions. That's one of the things I love. I love bad English in fake consoles and stuff like that. You get some a fake game and it comes with a book or something like that. I just love those typos. I find them hilarious to read. English is awesome. But yeah, anyway, enough of that. We can look here at the controllers, and they actually have the Famicom ends. So these are fully compatible with things like this fake Famicom here, and also with that keyboard I showed you. That's actually not a bad controller. You have the turbo buttons up there, solid D-pad, so that's actually pretty neat. Another thing that we have in here is something I actually mentioned during my multi-cart video. I said there was one multi-cart I didn't show because it was in a box, packed away, and that was this one. The 4-in-1, whatever the heck that says. And this is the one that has Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighter, and it also has Samurai Pizza Cats on it. So this is actually an awesome multi-cart, because Samurai Pizza Cats actually didn't come out here. So that's just another example of games that you can find on multi-carts that were actually never released in North America. So like I said, that's one of the main reasons I love these things, because you can never know what you're going to find. One interesting thing about this, actually I guess we'll worry about this first. This gun is actually really cool looking. I've always really liked this gun. And it has a Famicom end. I've actually never tried using it with the Famicom Duck Hunt though. I might have to try that actually. So yeah, gives me something to think about. And the last thing I want to show from this set is that, if we look at the power cord, this is actually a European console. So this is a European power cord. So I've actually never tested this thing, so I have no way of plugging in European electronics. Yeah, as you can see, it's a completely different plug from what we have. I actually have a few European things. I have European PlayStation, big version and small version. And I have a European Mega Drive, the big one, the Sega Mega Drive. Yeah, this is European too, so it's interesting that I somehow got my hands on it. But yeah, overall, it's a really interesting Fate console. Like I said, I've never had the chance to try it, but heck, even just getting this multi-cart, which I really like, and the controllers and the gun are really cool, so it's completely worth it, even though I can't play it. And it looks cool too, and it made something good to show for this video, so I'm completely happy with getting it. Let me just fit all of this back in there, and get that in there. That's always the big problem. After you take things out of boxes, you have to get them back in, and sometimes it's not that easy. Anyway, let's see here. What do I want to do? I could have always done this after, but I didn't for whatever reason. Let's see here. Oh, we got it. I have to be careful though. I don't want to wreck anything. Let's push that down, slide it in, and there we go. We have put away the fake Genesis, whatever the heck thing, and yeah. So yeah, now you know why there's a soccer player on the front, because it's European. I'm joking. But I mean, soccer is not really that popular in North America, but baseball just started again, and I love baseball. So yeah, but fortunately, Blue Jays are like half and half right now. We'll see how they do today. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for my talking about fake consoles. I just went over a whole bunch of different things I have. They're really neat. I mean, a lot of them are pretty pointless since I don't really need them considering I have the main thing, but I mean, they're a lot of fun to look at. It's fun to see some of the designs and things that people come up with, and like the work that kind of goes into designing a thing like this, and why do you make a PlayStation that plays Famicom games? Like, who knows, right? But overall, it's very neat. And yeah, I don't think I've really showed these controllers. The one that went with the keyboard, it's just pretty much another PlayStation kind of wannabe rip-off thing. And yeah, with buttons. No shoulder buttons this time. And yeah. But yeah, overall, I think that's all I have to say about fake consoles. On the table here, I actually have something that I just picked up, and it's really neat. I plan to make a pickup video on that, because I haven't been making nearly enough of them. So yeah, there's a few things I'm going to be making one on. So in the near future, hopefully I will have a pickup video. It'll probably be a weekend thing, maybe a Wednesday thing, who knows. But anyway, yeah, look forward to that. And yeah, that is fake consoles. If you see them, pick them up, because they're really neat. Sometimes like they don't work and things like that, or they don't work that well. Like I said, the video quality is not the most amazing, but I just think they're so neat to have. Just like multi-carts, right? I mean, I own all of the games on it, but I just think that it's just one of those things where some people might think they're dumb, but I just really enjoy having them, because I think they're cool. And really, when it comes down to it, the important thing is that when you're collecting, you have fun, and you're collecting things you like, not just the things that people are going to think make your collection really amazing or things like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I hope now you know a bit more about fake consoles, and pick them up if you see them, because they're really neat. And if you don't have a Famicom, I guess it might actually work out well. Like even if you don't get a power cord or anything like it with it, you can just use the Genesis power cord, like I said, and it just uses a normal AV cord. So not really anything to worry about there if you're missing something. So yeah, thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you next time for something different. So thanks, and see you then.